hockey fans, and welcome to another episode of the AJHL Playoff Show. My name is Ewanchyshyn from the Spruce Saints, alongside Nathan Crosby of the Brooks Bandits. And Nathan, here we are. It's the Saints and the Bandits in the AJHL Finals once again. Take us through the South Final, the Bandits sweeping the Oilers to get back here to the championship.
Yeah, it feels like forever, Brandon, since you and I have done one of these episodes, but it's been a break, and we'll hear from the head coaches here in a moment, Ryan Papaioanu and Bram Stephen, get their thoughts on managing things through these long breaks as we finally get to the league final this weekend. And, you know, very similar paths that both Spruce Grove and Brooks have taken to get to this point, sweeping through their second round series after getting a bye in the first, and then sweeping their way through the division finals. But getting a little tested in those division finals. I mean, Spruce Grove had an overtime game with Whitecourt. Brooks had an overtime game with Okotoks in game 3. So you saw a lot of similarities there. And I think what we're about to see here for this league final is the two best teams. It feels right. The two best teams in this league meeting, very similar. And it's going to be, I think, what will be one of the best league finals we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, it should be an absolute blast. On the Saints side of things, sweeping Whitecourt in the semifinals and then Drayton Valley in the North Final. Like you said, one overtime game in there. Nico Jovanovic ties that one late with just over a minute left, and then Brett Foe scores in overtime. And then the guys go on the road to Drayton Valley and pull out two gutsy wins in Drayton Valley. Two wins that weren't the prettiest by any stretch, but they went in there and got the job done. And like you said, for the Saints and Bandits, the fifth time since 2013 that the two teams will meet in the league final, and two best teams in the league. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and say that this one will not be a sweep.
Well, it would be, you know, I think there's two ways to look at it. I think with this, we both work for the team, so obviously we want to see our teams win this series and quickly. But at the same time, I think from a league perspective, there hasn't been a league final since Brooks and Spruce Grove played in 2019. Bandits swept that. You look at 2018; it was a 5-game series against between Whitecourt and Spruce Grove. Year before that, Brooks swept Whitecourt. So it'd be great to see a league final that had that intensity, that could get some huge crowds. Remember, we're a year removed from no playoffs, no league championship, and getting the chance to do this now in front of the great fans in Brooks, the great fans in Spruce Grove, I think is going to be it's going to be one for the ages.
Yes, it will. And with that, we'll throw things over to the head coach and GM of the Bandits, Mr. Ryan Papaioanu. As the AJHL Playoff Show continues, we're joined by the head coach and GM of the Brooks Bandits, Ryan Papaioanu. Ryan, appreciate the time. Thanks for jumping on here with us.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
So take us to the playoff run so far for your squad, back-to-back sweeps for you. How are things leading up to the AJHL final?
Slow. Hasn't been much of a lead up for us. No different than Spruce Grove. I think we've played 8 games in 64 days. So it's been a lot of practice, a lot of activities, real slow going, and certainly not too much build up to this series. I think our guys are excited to get it going, but it's been a long time coming.
Does it feel? It must feel a little different than other playoff runs that we've been a part of here in Brooks. And how do you think the players are handling that?
Yeah, certainly different. I think our guys have done the best job they can. I think that at points in time, it's been pretty boring, pretty trying for them, just trying to keep themselves motivated, and certainly they're excited, motivated for the games. But when you go through 60 days of practice with real limited action, especially limited action at home, just takes away from the feel of having that big buildup. But our guys are ready. They're excited for this final series, and regardless what happens in this series, I think that it's been slow going, but fun to get here.
Where are you right now with the rest versus rust debate? What side of the fence do you stand on?
I stand right in the middle. I'm happy that we have the same thing on the other side. So we're both coming into it just as equals. And, I think the rest part is nice. Everybody should have full lineups, and the rust part, I think we'll see rust and we'll see overexcitement on Friday night. But I think you see that with any final series. Kids are excited. We'll see some mistakes and some fun hockey.
It's been a couple weeks now since that Okotoks series. wrapped up, Ryan, but going back to that, how impressed were you with the team, and how important do you think it was for the team to play in a game like we had in game 3 in that series that went to overtime, and tested the team and saw the overtime winner there from Phillips?
Yeah, I think it was good to play in a tight game like that. Nice to have a lead and actually give it up, and our guys had to show some resolve and get into an OT situation, which is, it's always good to get one under your belt before you get to a league championship. And like that, we finished it quick, but as you said, good experience, and I think that team pushed us a lot harder than the scores may have looked in some of the games, and I think we're better for going through it.
One follow-up on that, Ryan, is just on Ethan Barwick. We saw over the break there, he committed to Lindenwood, which was great news for him. This is a goalie that we've had here for a few years now, and to see him earn that was great. But how impressed have you been with his play in this postseason?
Yeah, I think he's been real good in the postseason. Great for us all year long. I think early in the year he was, going through a battle between him and Jared Whale, and at some point one of them needed to take over the net, and it happened a couple times. And then Bars was able to kind of establish himself as the guy, and he's played all the big games for us this year. And we sat there with him as a 17-year-old affiliate years ago, and he went through the national championship run. So he's been around this hockey before, and I think we're excited to see him get the chance to be the guy in the net.
When you talk about the intangibles of the series or the little details that you think are going to make the difference, what would that be for you? Goaltending, special teams, how do you see that playing out?
Yeah, I think probably the same as most big series. Goaltending, special teams are huge. Certainly they're a real smart offensive team. They can create in a number of different ways. So we're going to have to be good away from the puck and detailed in how we defend. And I think all the little things that you talk about all season long, they all come to the forefront here. And we're certainly not a meat and potatoes team. So ourselves, we want to be able to create offense. We want to be able to play our style while managing pucks and playing in a championship series.
How much do you take into the 3 matchups against Spruce in the regular season, the showcase matchup, then the other 2? We haven't seen him since before Christmas. It's been some time since then. Do the coaching staff look a lot at that film, or you look at the more recent film?
Yeah, it's nice to check back on it. Do I think those games have any relevance to this series? Not at all. I think in the loss that Spruce Grove had here in the regular season, I think their lineup was missing quite a few of their key important pieces. I think in our loss up there, it was a similar thing. We lost McAllister real early in the game. We had Phillips out, some other guys that didn't play, and the showcase game, geez, that's so long ago that it feels like it was in a different season. So I don't think those games are much for relevance. I think we look more at what's happened with them lately, how they've played in the playoffs, and that's more the video that we study.
For yourself and your group, 2 years now without playoff hockey, the buildings are going to be packed come this weekend and next week. How excited are you as a coaching staff and for your group to get back out there and experience some atmosphere again?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I think the big atmosphere our guys had this season was the regular season game in Spruce Grove. I think that's the one night where our guys felt like there was an energy in the building that was a little bit different. We've had some decent crowds in the playoffs, but I think for us, without kind of the build up throughout the series and having 2 fast, 4 games in 6 nights, we haven't seen it yet. So I think our guys will get an opportunity. Some of these guys have been here now for 3 years, haven't had a full building, full playoff building once. So it's something certainly to look forward to.
We're pleased to be joined now by the head coach of the Spruce Grove Saints, Bram Stephen, as we get ready for the AJHL finals here this weekend. Bram, thanks for your time. I know fans and us staff were really looking forward to getting this thing going. But from your perspective, what has it been like over the last few weeks with the extended break from finishing off the North Division final, preparing for this league final?
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks for having me on. I think any opportunity we have to get better in practice is a good one. And completely understand. I think the league made the right choice in giving lots of room in the schedule during the regular season in case there was a shutdown. And I think just looking at some of the other provinces who did get shut down, we were fortunate that we were able to play uninterrupted. But it was good financially for all the teams in the league. And on the other end of it, yeah, you have more preparation time than you would in a normal year. But we've tried to take full advantage of that and see that as an opportunity to get much better.
Your team now, Bram, back-to-back sweeps in the playoffs so far. Semifinals over Whitecourt and now the North Final over Drayton Valley. How have you seen the playoffs play out so far?
We've had a lot of competitive games, a lot of close ones, a couple overtime wins. We were able to, we're fortunate enough to get on the right side of the scoreboard in all of the games, but both Whitecourt and Drayton Valley posed a really good competition, and they were really exciting games. The attendance in all the arenas have been fantastic, and it's been nice for our guys to get to play some playoff hockey after a couple of years of not doing so. And so, we feel real grateful that we're here.
Yeah, I bet it feels great to have that feeling again, and especially for the players. But Bram, you've been involved in some playoff runs before. Does this one have a little bit of a different feel to it?
I don't think so, to be honest. No, it's like I said, the schedule isn't as tight, so maybe that's the only thing. But this feels very similar to the one we were on 4 years ago. Obviously, we have a really competitive opponent here in the finals, but like that year, it's a number one ranked team in the country, and that was the same with Okotoks 4 years ago. I think our record going into the playoffs is exactly the same. The way the first two rounds are exactly the same, and for us, hopefully, the final goes exactly the same way too.
Should be lots of fun here in a few days. Looking ahead to the final and Brooks, what are the intangibles? What's the game plan? What are you preaching going into the first weekend here?
I think for us, we just need to play our game and make sure we're solid for 60 minutes and, play our 200-foot way of playing. That's really all it is. As much as possible, be mentally tough and tune out the excitement and then just perform to our highest level. And that's all we can ask of our guys.
Bram, goaltending can be so important in a playoff series. Tristan Martin has been a great pickup for you guys. What's impressed you about Tristan since he came over from Olds and has taken over the crease?
He's a poised goaltender. He's a gamer. He performs real well in tough moments. Obviously handles the puck really well. And he's relatively consistent in his play, and he's able to see through traffic and fight through traffic, and he gives our group a lot of confidence. And with that said, we have two good ones. Zach Onesky's played a playoff game as well, and stood on his head, and we feel very comfortable with both guys.
You mentioned it in one of your first answers, but the fans being back and the attendance being a big deal now that we're into the final and the atmosphere's back, everything's back to normal. How important is that for you and the players to really go out on the ice and experience that day in and day out now in an AJHL final once again?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's going to be I'm assuming the environments in both arenas are going to be lively. There's obviously a long-standing rivalry between the two teams, and there's no love lost. And I'm sure the games are going to be exciting too.
One final one for me, Bram, just looking back at the games against Brooks this year, it seems like it's been a while since the two teams have played. How much do you take stock in the matchups earlier this year, or do you look more at recent play?
Certainly you learn certain things that we have strengths and weaknesses against Brooks and our opponent, but we're big believers in improvement day by day, week by week, month by month. It's been our MO the 5 years we've been here. We're a much more confident, much deeper hockey team than we were back in November, December. It was. This group's quite confident for sure.
Bram, thanks for this and best of luck here in the finals.
Thank you so much.
Special thanks to both head coaches for taking some time to talk to us on this week's episode. Well, Nathan, we're just a few days away. The series gets going Friday in Brooks. For the first time ever, there will be dual audio in the AJHL. So fans will be able to listen to both broadcasts, but it's going to be a blast. I absolutely cannot wait to get that puck down on Friday night.
Yeah, I was hoping all the Saint fans would get to listen to our broadcast, but same when we go up there. I think it's actually great to have that option for fans. But man, I can't wait for this final. It's been the South final, and I bet you the same seems the same for you. It just feels like so long ago now that the team has played, and you heard from the coaches there on just how tough this has been in a different sort of playoff, but now we can stop talking about that and actually drop the puck this Friday in Brooks and get this thing going. I think it's going to be an absolutely great series, and it feels right. It's the two teams that should be playing for the AJHL championship that are playing for it this year. And the only downside is I'm going to have to now hang out with you for the next few days here. So I'll try and manage.
Should be lots of fun. Nate, as always, special. Appreciate your time, and let's get things going.
Sounds good.